What's up, everybody? I'm Jonathan Sewell Sells at Mitchell Mazda on the Boulevard in Enterprise, Alabama. And this is another CX-5, CX-50, CX-7, CX-70 update. I guess this is our semi-month update or bi-weekly update. Seems like we've always gotten Mazda news when it comes to the 2023 CX-5 57, 70. We're going to be diving in with two heavy hitters from the automotive industry. Will this actually be the crossover of our dreams? And what will it actually be called? All this and more coming up on this CX-5 Mazda new what am I going to call this? Mazda new crossover update. Stay tuned.
More car vids. More car vids.
Let's begin with the latter discussion of our last segment. What will this vehicle be called? Well, as it comes to names and trademarks of names, it was way back in July of 2019 that Mazda said, hey, let's go register or apply for some specific trademarks. And this was right on the cusp of having or right before the CX30 was released in the Geneva Auto Show as a first look. So what did they reserve? CX30, of course, CX50, yeah. CX90, we've talked about this in recent videos, and CX70, but not just that, they filed for the whole gamut. So you have CX10, CX20, CX30, of course, they use that one, CX40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. So, of course, they're not going to see all these crossovers come to life, although a CX10 or something along those lines would be pretty neat. How big or small would that one be? Or would it be the CX-10 actually on top of the 90, like a full-size SUV, bigger than Palisade, bigger than Telluride, maybe Sequoia size? Wow. But since they won't build all of these, they just wanted to lock down their brand so that no competitors could have a CX something. And I completely understand that and agree with that. It's all about branding. So we have these names and we don't really know what it's going to be called, and it could be because of where it's going to be fall in line between the current CX-5 and CX-9, maybe is what we're thinking. Although 2 weeks ago I said I don't think that's going to be the case, and we'll come back to that in just a minute. But if it was in between the CX-5 and CX-9, would that be a CX-70? Possibly. They do have the trademark registered. But when is this vehicle going to come out? That's a little bit of another question, right? And is it going to be the crossover of our dreams? So do you remember the video way back when it was all the way back in February when Mazda said no new products until 2023? And there was a discussion at the time, would that actually be in February of 2023, 2 calendar years? No! Or would it actually be a 2023 model, which I was hedging my bets for a 2023 model? Actually, what we decided in that video is that it would be the Mazda 6 released this fall as a 2023 model in 2022, or some fall, right? We said it could be the fall of 2022, and then have the new crossover, new CX-5, whatever it be, actually be released in January of 2023. However, what we know to be the case now, because of videos just and information out of Australia just a couple of weeks ago, really, that the crossover will be first. After they decided to pull the Mazda 6 and the CX-3, as they decided to pull those two from America, they said, hey, we're going to move forward with this crossover plan first, probably release it at this year's LA Auto Show in October, and probably go on sale next year as a 23 model. So, in 22. Will this be the vehicle, the crossover of our dreams? So we all would like a little bit larger CX-5, a little bit more cargo CX-5, and naturally if they follow those namings, it will be a CX50. And in fact, as we dive deeper back into 2020, there is Car and Driver, the first heavy hitter, right? Car and Driver has information that says, a matter of fact, they thought that back in July of 2019 even, in July of 2019, around the same time all these new trademarks were happening, that they thought that Toyota would be building in Alabama this squared concept vehicle that would fit between the CHR and the RAV4. They had the size right. As we know, the Corolla Cross is actually what they're producing, and it's in between the CHR and the RAV4. The other question, or the other topic that they brought up back in July of 19, was that it would be a new CX7, that at the time, Mazda still had the patent on the CX7, and that would be the in-between where they were missing a crossover. And is that the case? I think it is. I know I said I was wrong, because in the same article from 2019, it says that Toyota and Mazda confirmed that they will share components, but both vehicles will be developed independently. So they will share components. We don't know what components those are. It could be chip components that they're sharing with each other now. We just don't know. Could be technology, could be safety, could be airbags. Who knows? But they are sharing components. They're just developing two separate or individual vehicles. It's not going to be like the Yaris and the Mazda 2 sedans, where it's just a rebadged vehicle. They're going to be independent. They're going to be different. Catch us up to this year, July of 2021. The first heavy hitter, Car and Driver, right, says that Mazda will make the CX50, and it could be inline 6 powered. So this new large architecture with inline 6, and there's a lot of information out there on the inline 6, but it says that that will be the case, that we will not have a CX5, we will have a CX50 with an inline 6 large architecture, and it could also be shared with the CX8 and the CX9. So are we going to have an 80 and a 90? Very possible. The big picture is that this vehicle will be coming out of Mazda, Alabama, and I go back 6 months to my buddy Sean Belfry in Canada, and he said that a Mazda Canada rep told him that it would be that in-between model. It would be between the CX-5 and the CX-9, and it will be on this new platform, new large architecture. But is it going to have the inline 6? We don't really know. So just the beginning of this month, we go to the Future Cars edition of the other heavy hitter, Motortrend, and they say in the Future Cars that it will be this larger CX7, they called it the CX7, but it's going to be between the CX5 and CX9. Could be like the CX8. We think they're going to be shared vehicles, the CX70, CX50, whatever it's going to be called. I'm hedging my bets on CX50 because the CX5, CX50, name recognition, things like that. But since we now know that the Corolla Cross is coming, and we know that we need this bigger, more cargo range to compete with RAV4, Rogue, etc., but be a little bit more premium with the inline 6, perhaps the 3-liter. We know that this is coming. The Future Cars of Motortrend calls it a CX7. However, they say that it won't be on the TNGA-C platform. It'll be shared on the platform with the Venza and the RAV4, but it's probably Mazda's own platform. However, the shared components could be the powertrain, not from the Corolla Cross, but from the inline 4 2.5 liter in the Venza and the RAV4 hybrid. I don't believe that Mazda is going to use a Toyota powertrain. I believe that they will possibly share some of those hybrid components, and we will see a hybrid powertrain coming out of Alabama, but it's going to be that 2.5 Skyactiv or an inline 6 3-liter, depending on what they choose to do here right now for this vehicle. So this is really just all the information here that we have, and it's still speculation. Motortrend, Future Cars, with Mazda Inside News, is calling it a CX7. Why? It's going to be a CX50, but we know it's going to be 150,000 units. We know that actually, according to Motortrend, they're going to come out with this new model and still make the existing CX5 until they put it out to pasture like the CX3, or are they going to come out with a new model? We just don't know. However, we do know that something bigger is coming. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, all these articles. Maybe I was wrong 2 weeks ago. Maybe there in the future will be a smaller Corolla Cross-like vehicle. Oh, and by the way, what is it going to look like? We saw those spy shots. Here's one from drive.com that shows a little bit taken from those concepts into this beautiful soul red crystal, and I think you'll appreciate that because it is that beautiful. So I like it. It's got the carbon edition black wheels on it, which I think we are going to go back to more of a pizza style wheel, but that's just me. That's what I'm hoping for. But I do like the all black wheels. We are going to have this in between. We are going to have maybe production of a CX-5 from Japan, a CX-50 from Alabama, and both in the market at the same time. That's all I got for this crossover update. I'm Jonathan Sewell Sales at Mitchell Mazda on the Boulevard in Enterprise. As I'm recording this, it's raining and the wind's starting to pick up. You may be able to hear that in the background. I hope that everybody's safe with Fred coming up on this part of the country, and if Grace comes along behind it. Just continue to be safe, and I will not be here much longer this evening, but I will see you on the next one.
More garbage.